So Arsenal dropped 2 points against Sunderland away. Tricky game. Didn't say it coming. Let's talk about it. All right. So I watched the game. I'm sure you did. And first of all, I want to say this. Kudos to Sunderland. They're a really good team at home. I'm going to say at home because I haven't really watched them away. I know they beat Chelsea at Chelsea's home. But against Arsenal, I felt that they always just had that extra something. Of course, obviously, Xhaka is the captain of the team, extra motivated. But he's a good player, so I'm not going to know Xhaka. I thought he was decent, and he was a good player. He's still a good player, rather. But let's talk about the game. So the game started a bit, stop-start, scrappy, and with a 1-goal lead for Sunderland. Now, this is not a blame game per se. I expected this. I just literally last week I made a video what I was talking about, why the 5 reasons why Arsenal win the league, and you can watch the video. I'm going to put the link here, right up here. But basically, one thing I said there was that we're going to lose games this season, and there are some games that I expect us to lose. As a matter of fact, I called this game as one of them, Sunderland away, and I also mentioned Bournemouth away. And the reason for that is just the fatigue of playing the Champions League and then playing away to this smaller clubs, with all due respect to them, who are basically staying fresh, not playing any game, just waiting for you to come. They are motivated. They're at home. It's the Goliath versus David story, obviously the underdog story. So mark my word, it's going to be a similar thing to away to Bournemouth. Now, the fact that we didn't lose this game, for me, is a plus. I know a few Arsenal fans are, dejected and feel down because we could have won the game because we scored and then we had about 10 minutes to hold, less than 10 minutes to hold the lead, but we lost it. And also could have still won at the end, but it's just football. It's football. We're not going to win every single game, and you and I understand that the old Arsenal could have lost this game very easily. It's pretty much set up for the kind of game Arsenal would not typically lose, but we didn't lose the game. And this is no criticism to Arteta, but I felt that Mikel Merino was just really poor as a footballer. In the first half especially, and as a footballer myself, someone who plays casually, I don't quite understand why at this level Mikel Merino struggles to just keep the ball and make simple midfielder or professional footballer decisions. It is so irritating for me because to me they are easy things. Nobody's asking him to run like Declan Rice and carry the ball and, go through 2 or 3 players. No, just hold the ball and just pass the ball. Or sometimes just make a simple through pass to someone. If you notice, every time the ball gets to Mikel Merino, again, especially in the first half, it just dies. And for me, this is my one issue with Mikel Merino. I think he's great in the 18-yard box. I think he's great with his head. But outside of that, as a midfielder, just being able to do the basic things, he is such a poor footballer outside the 18-yard box, and it's troubling for me because if we're going to win the league, which I think we will, by the way, we need every single player to be able to be at the level other players are, and to me, he tends to drop the ball. So that's one. First half, everybody was a little, I don't know what was it, a little dodgy, put it that way. We just didn't play our game in the first half, but second half, kudos to the team, and I knew that was going to happen. Once we went into the halftime, Arteta did his magic. I knew they'll come out all gun blazing, which they did. So we took over the game. We obviously scored because they were causing possession by Rice, and Saka was able to bear with his right foot. And then from then on, we were in the ascendancy. I thought we were very, very, astute, direct, aggressive, making the right passes. Trossard was great. even though a few times he frustrates me, but I thought he was good in this game, for most of it rather. And then we scored we were 2-1 ahead. And from then on, again, I feel like we kind of took the back seat. Not like it's new. We did the same thing against Burnley when we were 2 goals up, and then we just decided to take our foot off the gas, and it came back to haunt us. So, but one thing I can assure you, Liverpool, Man City, those 2 clubs are going to go away to Sunderland, and I can assure you one thing: it's not going to be easy for anybody to play Sunderland at home. They're a serious team, and I kept watching them like, oh my goodness, now I can understand why these guys are in the top 4. Of course, I don't think they'll finish top 4, but the fact that they started this well this time around, it will help them in the long run to maybe make Europe, maybe finish top 8 or top 10, and that's an amazing achievement for a team who just came from promotion. So that's amazing. So General, Rice was fantastic as usual. Timber, Gabriel and Saliba. I can't blame them for the goals per se. It's one of those goals that are inevitable. Anybody who thinks that we're going to go the season without conceding goals is naive. This is the toughest league in the world. I knew at some point we're going to score. But guess what happens? We have an international break, and they're going to regroup, and we have I think it's a perfect game to get back into the groove. North London derby against Tottenham at the Emirates, win that game, and then we have a string of games that are quite tough. We have Bayern, then we have Chelsea, and then I think we have Brentford away, or Brentford at home, something like that. I'll look it up. But I think the next 5 games Arsenal have, which also include Aston Villa, are going to be crucial games for really, really cementing our foot in winning this league, showing proper intent to win the league. Again, no one wins the league in October or November, but I think that in the long run, the way this team is set up, the squad depth, and the fact that we have the best defense in the league, I think we are best suited to win this league, and I think we will win the league. I don't feel any different just because of a draw against Sunderland. Now, obviously, tomorrow, City and Liverpool play each other, and I think as an Arsenal fan, we want to draw. But it won't surprise me if there's a win in that game. It doesn't matter. Quite frankly, it doesn't matter. We are also going to play City. City will also play us as well. We're going to go away to City. And I personally, if there's one season when I'm pretty confident that we will not lose, just like we did last season to City, is this season. I think that there's just a psychological win Arsenal has over City. The fact that we trashed them last season at the Emirates and we didn't lose at the Etihad. I think the same thing will repeat itself, and if they're not careful, we'll actually win that game. Can we win the game? Absolutely. Can City win Arsenal at the Etihad? I don't see it, just because I think we're better defensively and we have a bit more purpose, and we're not dependent on one player, which they do. They rely on Haaland to score all the goals. So when that time comes, it comes. But I think for tomorrow's game, City, Liverpool, I expect them. Look, it won't surprise me if there's a win. I personally am tipping City to win the game. I know some people are tipping Liverpool, but me, I'm tipping City to win the game. And I think they will win the game. But it's also not bad if it's a draw. Again, kudos to the team, guys. I think we're always going to have a game like this for the season. I felt the team, I've always said, if you don't win a game, then if I watched that game as a fan, I want to see my team put in 100% effort. And did they do that today? Yes. Maybe except for a few players. I wasn't very impressed with Mikel Merino at all. And it's just so sad that Gyökeres is injured and Havertz is not available. Because for me, Mikel Merino, he's a 20 minutes to go player. Not a player I want to start. I don't think he has the quality to sustain that level of play throughout the game, like a Saka or a Timber or a Rice, who just give you, very high standards throughout the game. He doesn't do it for me. But it is what we have. So I think it's perfect. But hopefully by the time we come back international break, we have either Gyökeres or also Havertz back, and that would just be fantastic. Even Odegaard, we lack some creativity in the middle. Look, listen, in as much as I know that Trossard was significant today, you know, he scored the goal and he was, you know, a threat almost throughout the game. I still want to see Eze on the left-hand side, and I'm hoping that when Odegaard comes back, we can see that. In terms of wing play, I look at great wingers, I look at great teams with great wingers, and I'm like, ugh, I feel like Arsenal still haven't gotten the best out of our left-hand side. I mean, granted, Odegaard is injured, so we're having to play Eze through the middle, but I'd love to see, you know, when Odegaard comes back, we play Eze through the left-hand side, because between Trossard and Martinelli, maybe I'm just super critical. I have higher standards. I'm still not sold on our left-hand side. I honestly am not. Yeah, I mean, again, kudos to Trossard today. He did well, just like he did against Burnley, but it's just too many touches sometimes, you know. I'm glad he obviously scored a beautiful goal, great goal, you know, great run, decoy from Calafiori to set that up, and then he was able to hit the the powerful shot, and it was a goal. But looking forward to the international break and hoping that we get some of the injured players back, and we can get back into getting our squad depth back to 100, because right now I think it's about 70%. You know, Madueke is out, Havertz is out, Odegaard is out, Jesus is out, Gyökeres is out, Martinelli is out. So these are the players that if they were back, we would have the right squad depth. And today Arteta struggled to make changes because, again, he only had Nwaneri, quite frankly, to bring on. Yeah, I thought it was a good game. I'm not, you know, I thought we put in 100% effort. It just wasn't meant to be. It wasn't to be, pretty much. We should have scored right at the end, but it didn't happen. Great save from the goalkeeper. But that's football for you. Every single team in the league is going to have a day like this. So we didn't lose. We drew away to an impressive Sunderland at home that I think would give every team problems, especially big teams, problems. Xhaka is on a whole level, and kudos to Xhaka. Think about it, guys. Xhaka is a legend in the game. For Arsenal, he was a captain for Arsenal. He won the FA Cup. I know he had his troubles with the fans. Went away to Bayer Leverkusen, won the league unbeaten. Comes back to a small town, Sunderland, and he's a captain. So he deserves it. I was watching, like, oh wow, this is such a fantastic person, a great story, and I'm happy for him, And yeah, that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoy the game tomorrow. It goes in our favor. Of course, in our favor means a draw, but it won't surprise me if City wins the game. I still don't see Liverpool as a threat, and I've said it before. They've already lost too many games. I think they will lose a lot more as well, which will completely root them out of the league. City is the biggest threat to me to win this league, ahead of Arsenal, but which I don't see. I think Arsenal win the league. But yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoy the game tomorrow, and cheers. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers.